Welcome. My name is David Drake and we're at the New York Stock Exchange. Today we're talking about innovators from Korea who have actually found solutions to maybe help us with infrastructure here in the US. So I'm pretty excited to have Caris from Korea with us. And we have manager Mr. Kim and the founder Mr. Yu with us from Korea. Welcome to New York Stock Exchange.
Thank you.
Now I'm excited about your innovation because initially when I saw it, I felt there was something bigger to talk about than just road guardrails. And I'm a chemical engineer by trade, so I like PVC solutions, and I started thinking, well, the guardrail that Mr. Yu started building 10 years ago and got patents on is now potentially expanding to the US, and I needed to understand what the value add was. Obviously, a couple of the things here is that it's less costly, doesn't weigh as much, doesn't corrode. Furthermore, it might be difficult to replace existing infrastructure. I can see this being in new infrastructure, but you also have colors on them. And
Yes,
these
we do.
colors, tell me about the colors.
We put a luminescent material during the extrusion process of the guardrail.
Oh.
And this way, during the day, it gathers energy, and at night, it illuminates.
That's clever. So actually, technically at night you can drive into a sharp corner and you could technically do, yellow, orange, or red. I'm sorry, green, orange, red. Warning is going to be sharp turn.
Yep.
Okay, I get tired when I drive at night, so it's good to have that kind of invention. Instead of reflexiveness, it's going to be actually luminescent.
Yeah.
Oh, clever. Then on top of that, Mr. Yu also added something else to it. I mean, there's an impact story here. There's a narrative of being able to recycle plastic for the roads.
Yeah, and this is something we're really excited about. Not only are the guardrails recyclable after they are no longer good for the road, but we use recycled plastic materials to extrude the guardrail, from the beginning. And this way, we hope to reduce the waste plastic that is, all around the world. And in this way, we kind of make an impact while we, do business with these guardrails as well.
Now, this is important for investors like myself and family offices we co-invest with on a global basis. Inclusiveness and impact investing is very important for us in the next generation. So I like that because, plastic and garbage is one of the few things to keep growing constantly with the population. And right now I've seen shipments being returned left and right. Now here's a solution that as much as your company grows, Caris in Korea, and hopefully maybe you'll go public in New York Stock Exchange or maybe go public in NASDAQ, right? The more you grow, the more you recycle.
Of course, yeah. And I mean, that's the beauty of it. Basically, the better the business does, the more guardrails that we are able to install, the more plastic that we'll be recycling and using.
That's a great story, right?
Yeah.
You grow and you recycle more, and it's used. And we can see on these videos that these things have a huge impact capacity. At quickly as 50 miles an hour, going into an angle from trucks to cars, and the thing bounces back, I see on the video, right? It doesn't just necessarily go right through. Isn't that a big difference with the current rails?
Yes it is, and one of the benefits is as you watch these videos, you notice that the car doesn't impact the guardrail as you would think. It doesn't break it into pieces. The guardrail absorbs the shock and kind of guides the car back into the direction that it's supposed to be going. And this is not only good for the car, but it's most importantly good for the passenger as well. This decreases the risk of injury, and like I said, absorbs most of the shock.
Right. I mean, most of the guardrails is not to get off the road. This one has more of an application, not only not getting off the road, but reduce damage, reduce incidents, and it's kind of on the videos we can see that it's kind of resilient.
Yeah.
Kind of cool stuff here. I mean, here we go, right through this. It's really impactful. And you guys already got it approved in the US, right?
So we did crash testing in the US, and we have passed.
It was called MASH, right?
Yes, MASH.
Where they do the testing, and your impact is qualified now to go the road on some of the roads in the US?
Yes, sir.
Maybe you guys can help us fix the infrastructure problems we have. I think, the president ran with that 54,000 bridges needs maintenance. Maybe you guys can help with that.
We would love to.
That's a good narrative, right?
Yeah, it is.
You move to the U.S. and help us out with infrastructure and recycle at the same time. Well, I'd love to learn more about also what Mr. Yu's plans are for the future. Would you kindly ask him?
이제부터 계획이 뭐세요?
작은 나라 한국 시장에서 시작하였습니다. 그리고 드디어 미국까지 왔습니다. 저는 이 미국을 발판으로 하여 전 세계 우리 카리스 가드레일을 알리고 싶습니다.
So this company started as a small company in South Korea, and somehow we've been able to make it to the U.S. And basically what he hopes for in the near future is to be able to spread his product basically globally, and create awareness of that there is an item like this available for governments, departments of transportations to utilize on their roads.
You see, what I also learned when we talked earlier, working with your group, is that he went ahead and actually bought a shipping company in Korea, thinking that if he manufactures, he might as well buy the shipping company and reduce his overhead and cost for shipping it globally. So it's it's a small cap company, maybe $100 million company in Korea, but it's kind of clever for him to do so.
Yeah, and not only does it help with the logistics of shipping our guardrails out, but it also is cost effective for us. It's a way for us to save money on something that we usually would pay for. And with plans to ship guardrails out in the near future, it kind of made sense.
It's clever. It's clever how you actually put that together, and 1 + 1 saves a lot. The vertical integration, I like that. But on the flip side, you are already in contract to build a factory in Uzbekistan. Please tell me about that.
Yeah, so Uzbekistan is a country that Mr. Yu has been highly pursuing, and it took about a year, a lot of flying back and forth, but so with his connection to a minister in the Department of Transportation there, he was able to secure a supply contract. Yeah, and that
How big was it? Contract? What, 100,000 something?
100,000 kilometers.
So 100,000 kilometers of rail.
Yes.
So on
yes.
both sides of the road, it'd be 50,000 kilometers of rail.
Yes, sir.
But that's going to take 10 to 15 years to produce.
Yeah.
Isn't
So
it?
we're not putting time restrictions on the contract. We want to make sure that we're supplying the highest quality of guardrail whenever we do. So yes, we are looking at about 10 to 15 years now.
It's interesting to see that you guys are actually doing these crash tests to qualify for certain roads and certain speeds. And it's resilient. It's very hard, obviously, but it's also built in a special geometry to absorb shocks.
Yeah.
But you also don't only do guardrails, you also do sound barriers, correct?
Yes, we do.
It's interesting. I like the fact that at night you can actually see the light in different colors, because that's very helpful as you move forward. I mean, especially for me, I have a hard time seeing at night. I don't like driving in the evening.
Yeah.
That's very helpful. I remember driving a truck in my past, and narrow roads with a truck in the dark, that really got me worried.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, you're managing for the company, and obviously you're going to be involved here in the U.S. Some of the things that we're looking for are, besides just guardrails, what other products are in the making or in the thought process?
So there's definitely different products that we want to utilize this PVC resin for. One example is so soundproof barrier walls are basically used in areas where residential areas are really close to high traffic roads. It absorbs the sound and keeps the residents happy, basically.
Going back to Uzbekistan, is the Uzbekistani government now potentially going to say, well, this is great, we're recycling plastic, maybe their plastic industry will grow, or recycled plastic going to Uzbekistan.
Yeah.
I'd like to see if that's going to be part of their story and other countries' stories on how to progress in that space.
Yeah, and basically, the reason why we're so excited about Uzbekistan is because it gives us a chance to create exposure for our product to countries near Uzbekistan as well. Hopefully that will garner interest through the installations that we do in Uzbekistan, and that way get the talks going with the neighboring countries.
Well, obviously, the plan of being here at New York Stock Exchange is also to look at options going public, potentially at New York Stock Exchange, and other acquisitions that you have in mind. I like the fact that your transactions were recent in Korea. You recently acquired another company because of the shipping capacity, and I can also see that their value goes up because now they have a locked-in client, which is the guardrails going out around the world.
Yeah.
But but the question becomes then, you're creating a facility in Uzbekistan. You bought the shipping business. Would you be shipping from Uzbekistan to them, or would you just be shipping from Korea and your factory in Korea?
I think it really depends on the logistics of everything. What would make most sense would be to build the factory in Uzbekistan, which we plan to, and supply Uzbekistan and the neighboring regions. For Korea, we have a factory in Korea right now.
Mr. Yu started out, he was trained as a CPA and spent a good 10 years, 15 years working in accounting and CPA. And as he shared with me before, he got inspired by driving around and saying, well, why can't we create these guardrails out of plastic, since he was working for a plastic company, and recycle plastic even better. So now you kind of have an impact of humanity, a legacy, and you're creating something that would work. But then again, as he told me earlier, it took him 10 years to perfect this product. It would take him 10 years to get this to look right, to be resilient enough to pass tests. That's a lot of commitment. I mean, as I understand, he, mortgaged his house and his car and everything. He went all out.
Yeah, he definitely did. I mean, just hearing about it myself, I can't imagine doing the same thing. But I mean, this is where we are at now, and I think he's very excited for what's to come.
So some of the plans is coming here and potentially open up an office in New York.
Yeah, of
picking
course.
a place to go public.
So we're excited because this is our chance to bring exposure of this guardrail to the United States, and we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but we're going to try our best to do what makes most sense.
Well, it's part of coming here is to see what's possible, potentially meet with the right partners, and also share your story. And I like the narrative that you actually can come in here and say, you know what, we're going to save the roads. We're going to try to get the roads aligned better with PVC. I'd love for you, maybe ask Mr. Yu if he has thought about how could he improve the infrastructure roads in an inexpensive way here in the U.S., specifically the bridges we have an issue with. And I'm not sure there's as much need because the infrastructure well done, but it certainly is a good narrative. Would you please ask him?
이 제품이 어떻게 지금 길거리들을 더 좋게 만들 수 있을 것 같아요?
지금 현재 PVC로 제품이 개발이 됐습니다. 우리가 지금 그 개발이 완전히 거의 끝난 그 폐 비닐을 이용한 그 제품을 갖다가 개발에 성공을 하였습니다. 얼마 있어서 제품을 출시할 겁니다.
So basically, like we've been talking about, he's really excited about this product because, he's able to use recycled plastics, and he thinks the effect in that in itself will create a big impact, not only to the roads, but to the oceans or to the landfills, wherever. And he's really excited to do that for the environment.
Yeah, I've been looking at recyclable technologies for a long time, and we're part of a private equity fund on the West Coast in renewable energy. So we looked at a lot of solutions, but they hadn't been proven yet. This one is quite straightforward. Recycle plastic into guardrails and just change the infrastructure and reduce the trash that we have. I think it's a great story to be told to people around the world.
I agree.
Well, I want to thank you both coming on the show. I'm very excited that you guys are making a leap to expand into the U.S. And I'm always excited being here in the New York Stock Exchange. Thank you very much, Mr. Kim.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kim.
Thank you.